Well, we've reached the fourth one. But I think they've really been insightful. And isn't it interesting the way the World Health Organization has put this together and the biblical framework so fits alongside it. The fourth one we're going to be looking at is...
It's contribution to community, Roy, which is fascinating in itself because you wouldn't necessarily think a marker for your personal mental health would be the contribution you're making to the community at large. But I think it's very, very important. Maybe it's, they're all important, but it's maybe one of the most important ones because it, again, helps to draw us out of ourselves and connect with others. We've talked already about the fact that we have gifts and skills to offer, that we have potential to be released, and that we can support one another with the bumps and bruises on the road. But this one's really about the fact, I think, particularly from a Christian perspective, that we've been created to be in community, that actually isolation is problematic. I think from a mental health perspective, isolation is seriously problematic for our mental health. And one of the markers of mental ill health is when someone begins to withdraw from the community, withdraw from family and come into themselves and disconnect. So community, is the fourth marker, but it has really big implications for the other three. It offers really natural support to the other three. And ultimately, if this is the way we've been created, if we've been created for community and we're living in community, that's going to be good for us. But if we're created for community and yet we're living in isolation, that's always going to cost us something. So I think this community marker is really, really important.
And I think we probably discovered that even more through COVID, where we were isolated. And we then discovered, I really do need community. Because when I was working from home or isolated or going on, all of a sudden, people, that's what I'm missing. And we've now recognized that. And we need to engage in it. We need to be intentional. That's where a faith community comes in a significant way. Belonging to a church community is really, really valid and helpful.
Absolutely. One of the struggles that people face, of course, is kind of getting through the door of a community, assumptions we make in advance, maybe a sense that we need to be invited to come.
British people, we always need to be invited. We're terrible if we're not invited. We don't turn up.
The trouble is, if we wait to be invited, then often we'll find ourselves isolated. The best way forward is to take tentative steps into a community that you think is going to be welcoming. And normally, even just the gentlest step forward will be met by a really, really positive reception. There is a necessity of courage in this marker, just to kind of take a little gentle step forward.
But it can be a small step.
It can be a very small step.
It's not a big step.
No.
We may think it is in our mind, but actually when you do it, you think, why did I even worry about that?
Yeah, it can just be a small step. The key thing is just persistence, is saying actually it takes a little while to get bedded into community, and it takes a while to work out how you can contribute to that community. And that's okay. The key thing is, are you in community at all? Because that marker is really, really important for your emotional health. And being in community, if you're struggling with mental health issues, if you're struggling with life issues, financial issues, if you're struggling with your physical health, being in community will really benefit you, help you, and it will support you even through the most difficult times.
Absolutely. These four have been an amazing insight for me. We've kind of just really started to look at some of these, but there's a series that we put together that you've been part of that just enables small groups to unpack some of these in a more detailed way, don't they?
I think the wellbeing journey is a brilliant next step. I mean, I think what's lovely about it is it's so open and it provokes just helpful questions. I mean, these four markers could be four brilliant tea time conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
Your productivity, how are you dealing with stress today? How's your study going? How's your work going? And how's what have you done that's fun recently?
And this continued. You could keep asking, couldn't you?
Absolutely. And the wellbeing journey just helps you to go that little bit deeper in exploring what these things really mean. I mean, ultimately, Roy, these things are not just about mental health; they're about how you live life well. And so, we spend a lot of time doing and not very much time thinking about what life could look like. And I think what's lovely about the wellbeing journey is the opportunity to really think about what life could look like. And why not spend some time exploring, asking some of these important questions, and then making some positive changes that can support both your mental health and also your community life, your sense of joy, your family. These are simple things, but in a way, they're just things we need to take some more time to think about.
Will, it's been great to talk to you, as always. I always go away with some nuggets and gems. So thanks.
Thanks, Roy.
And thank you for joining us.